We are back with another episode of the Big Miller Basketball Show. I'm Nick Winger, joined by my main man, Vic, here. We had an incredible day of basketball. I guess that's day 3 of the state tournament. Across the state, there was games back and forth. It was a lot to keep up with today, honestly. There was good games, boys and girl games, honestly, all day long, it felt like there was just great games.
Yeah, you get a little bit off and you get a little bit thrown around in the mix, especially as a fan if you're watching every conference, boys and girls, and then you're catching the second half of the first round on the third day, those type of things, right? So we're here, man. We're happy to get things going again for, what is this, day 3 of our recaps?
I think it is.
Day 3 recaps.
Yeah, it feels like we just talk every night, and it just becomes like a routine right now.
That's it right now, bro. It's flowing good.
I'm enjoying it. Let's just kick things off the same way that we've been doing it. We're going to go with boys first today. We got Bradford and Lafayette County.
Yeah, so Bradford actually came out strong in this one. Lafayette County battled back. It was a kind of just a good, evenly paced game. I thought there was more athleticism on one side of the ball, but Bradford understood and played like a team more through the stretch of the game, and that's what ultimately led to them getting this win in the 1A.
Yeah, it was a good one to start with. We got Sloan Hendricks and Poen. Sloan Hendricks just seems like they're just, you know what to expect from them, honestly. They were able to withstand the crowd that Poen had. I think the girls played before this one as well, so it was a packed house. I saw some videos, and it just looked like there was an empty seat in the whole entire gym.
No, 100%. Great crowd, great atmosphere. Sloan obviously knows how to go into those type of environments and get things done as they did in this one, battling late into the game to pull away with the fourth quarter stretch.
We got Ozark and Forest City. This was one that I was actually at. And I'll be honest with you, it turned out to be a really good game. Forest City started really well. I mean, they came out hot. And for the majority of the game, they looked awful, honestly. Honestly, I know this isn't a knock to Ozark. They ended up pulling it out, and that's good for them. They survived in advance. But I'm not sure if Ozark looked very good either throughout the game. And Forest City kind of came alive late and made it, more of a respectable game than it actually ended up being on the scoreboard. But I mean, Ozark's going to have to play a little bit better this next round if they plan on advancing again. They're going to have to close out better. Forest City had their chances to win late. Jamarian Morris, he kind of took over there, hit some big shots, got to the free throw line, and Ozark they struggled there at the end of the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, you said it best. Jamarian Morris, man, went out with a big bang in this one. Cooper Durr for Ozark was electric. Something that I kind of hinted at that you guys should be watching for in this game, and a player you should definitely be keeping your eyes on between this season and next. But, man, they got the job done. Tough one. I'll be looking forward to that next round as well.
Yeah, he's one – Ozark's a team that could make some noise again next year with Cooper coming back. We got Parrish and Rosebud. This was an incredible game.
Yeah, I think we said it earlier. We may have dropped the ball when we kind of did the preview on this game. We kind of thought Rosebud would come in. They've been really strong in conference all year, coming off another good season from last year, building kind of with that core of guys. And then Paris came in, man, and matched that energy all game long. It was a tit-for-tat game. It went back and forth. And in the end, Paris just had that possession to make the right play and win the game.
Mountain Home and Greene County Tech. My boy was sending me some notes during this one, so I had some things to go off of. Really, it was a great game. I'll let you kind of take the floor really on it. These are your guys.
No, for sure. Just Greene County Tech, Northeast Arkansas guys in general. Shout out to Luke Cancilla, who I get a chance to coach in the summertime as well. Very great sophomore guard over there for the Eagles. These guys lit it up tonight, though. I was very proud of the way they played. Mountain Home came out and punched them early, and then they just matched that punch blow for blow and responded. Ended up getting the lead and securing the win all the way down the stretch of that fourth quarter as well. So a couple of these games today kind of matched, as well as getting down to the, nitty-gritty of the game and then needing a little stride and then taking it from there. Kind of like Bradford did, like I was mentioning earlier, kind of like Sloan Hendricks did, like we were mentioning earlier, and then Greene County Tech kind of was the same way today.
Yeah, Mountain Home and Greene County Tech, they've played 4 times this year. So I think both teams knew what to expect, and they were really familiar with that. Case and Scott had a big game with 20 points and held Mountain Home's best player to only 6 points. And, You want to talk about McDaniel a little bit, or we get on that?
Yeah, no, Carson McDaniel, big way, 18 points, man. I started saying it a little bit middle of last summer. I got a chance to coach Carson for a short, brief period in a tournament down in Orlando, Florida last season. And that's when he opened my eyes. I had kind of knew him as a player, but did just know a lot about him. And so just getting to see him up close and personal in the summer, and then the growth that he's made from now until then, you see a lot coming along with his body and his confidence. And I think that's mattered the most for him on the floor.
We're going to move to the 6A, and this was quite the upset. This was kind of the upset that kind of kicked a lot of things off today in a really good day of basketball. Little Rock Central knocked off 1 seed Harbor, and it seemed like, I mean, Central was just the better team today, and this was something that we kind of talked about in our preview show. Harbor was a team this year that was really, really good when Jabari Washington was on, and when he wasn't on, they struggled, and that was a perfect example of that tonight. Central, I think they played earlier this year, and Harbor beat them, I think, by like 10 or something like that. And Central knew what to expect. They came in ready. This is an interesting tidbit for you, and I don't have it pulled up in front of me to have the exact, but the 6A West has not done very good in this playoff. They've only won one game. Bentonville West beat Southwest. I guess that was yesterday. They won by 3 points. So. That was the first day. That was 2 days ago. I don't remember. The days are running together. But besides the point, the 6A West has not done it. They have not had a very good showing. They have one more chance to get a win. Fayetteville plays, I guess, Jonesboro, I think, tomorrow. So that's their last team they got standing.
Yep. I wholeheartedly understand the struggles from the 6A West. Because if you look at the rosters, especially the leaders or the better players or the more known guys on the team, they're all juniors and younger, right? Especially, like, I mean, obviously for Fayetteville, you're led by one of the best guys in the state in that senior class of DJ Hudson. But then you look outside of that and you look around those teams, a lot of those guys, you got a Harbor, don't get me wrong, with, Jabari Washington as well. But like you said, if he didn't play well, it's going to hurt him. But you got a Bentonville who's kind of junior led with Marley. You got some of those other teams that we talked about over there in the 6A West as far as like, your north side, who has a good group of juniors. They got a group of them, right? They kind of got a small duo, trio of juniors over there. And so it makes a lot of sense when you see those guys and you see them come in and they don't have the playoff experience some of these other teams do to fall off in that first round or not make it very far through these playoffs. And so there's a bit of understanding for that. And I look for the 6A West to honestly bounce back next year in a season where they'll have a lot of those junior guys obviously come up, grow up, have this little loss this year to kind of keep that bad taste in their mouth and want to put some bulletin board material down to go off of next year.
Yeah, that was the question I was going to ask. It was if we thought they were going to rebound next year. And I don't know. I think I don't know. It seems like in years past, the West has been kind of catching up to it, and maybe this is just a down year, but it'll be something to keep an eye on and something I'm excited to see next year.
And not to skip too far from that game because I didn't get a quick say piece on that. Man, I think personally, I've been telling people weeks ago, right? Don't sleep on Central. They're one of the deepest teams. They didn't click early. They had not say that they didn't click. They had a few injuries that didn't help them kind of mesh and didn't get the full roster together until kind of January, right? And then we've seen how that's come along since January in just a short period of time. Right now, they are clicking on all cylinders. So I don't know. I just want to put that word out there that Central is a team to be scared of, man, for real. Central is somebody you don't want to see on the other side of that bracket from you.
Yeah, I think they played North Little Rock in the semifinals, right?
Be a huge game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. You're correct.
Yeah, I think that's correct. So, that'll be a fun one. It's a big rivalry game with a lot on the line. It's going to add to one of, if not the best rivalry in the state. So it's just another page in that of that rivalry, that history.
Central and North Little Rock will be the 1:30 game on Saturday.
Yeah, I bet that. I don't know. It should be a really good crowd. I'm looking forward to it. Saturdays are always fun, regardless of where you're at in the state, what teams you're rooting for, but especially that one. That'll be one to circle for sure. I think North Little Rock girls are playing also that time. Central girls might be playing at that time as well. I'm not sure. We'll find out in a second, I guess, when we recap the girls' side. Blevins and Dermont.
Yeah, I didn't see this big of a win coming. I talked about it yesterday a little bit. Rashard Marshall's older brother Roy is the coach down there at Dermont. I knew he could coach his tail off. I knew he had some talented kids that I got to go see this summer down in South Arkansas. But I was surprised that Blevins came out and gave up a 20-point loss. I know Xavier Bazille was another senior who's been lighting it up all year. He went out tough in this one with 24 points, trying to, help will his team to some type of win and some type of victory late down in the game. But Dermott overall was too much. Lucas Figures was really good in this game and helped Dermott secure that win.
This next one's fun because Junction City, obviously, they have history as a basketball program, but Izard County seems like a team that year in and year out, they're always a good basketball program. And I'm not sure what it is. It seems like, at the smaller school level, it kind of cycles a little bit more. But for whatever reason, Izard County just keeps on, honestly.
Here to stay, man. It's just they're in the basketball region. I try to tell people all the time, man, they breed hoopers around here.
We got Pottsville and Blytheville. That was a game I was at. It was an unbelievable game. I honestly, going into the game, I kind of thought Blytheville would kind of, run away with it. Maybe Pottsville kind of hit them early, and then Blytheville would just kind of rebound and continue on. But Pottsville, they hit some shots, and I think to beat Blytheville, you have to be a tough shot making team, and Pottsville was that, and they didn't make enough. Honestly, they kind of ran out of gas there at the end, and but it was a great game. At the time, I thought this. I think I told somebody that this is probably the game of the day, and I was wrong for sure. But it was still an unbelievable game. It was a great start or a great game all around. Honestly.
I think this was our first overtime game out of boys and girls in any classification for this year's playoffs. I could be wrong on that, but I'm like 90% sure, right? So if that tells you anything, it just tells you that the energy in the building was huge down, down there for the Chickasaws and the Apaches. I hate to see Pottsville go out in such a tough battle, man. It's just like you wish they can get one more round against a different opponent. Same thing like with Blytheville. You didn't want to see them go home at all. So seeing them fight on is going to be a great thing to see. Got to be a battle in that 4A for the rest of the way. Like, honestly, you got the dogs left. That's it.
Yeah. Blytheville plays Mills tomorrow night.
Got the dogs left. That's it.
So, that's what I have circled for sure. And I think you're right about the overtime thing because this is my first time I think I've seen this right here on the screen, really. Harding Academy and Providence Academy.
Yeah, I didn't watch this game much. I was actually in a training session. I know Providence has a couple of guys who are pretty good, very slept on. They're one of those Northwest Arkansas teams who's kind of just, doing their thing. Those guys stick to it. They're at the top corner of the state, kind of away from everybody else. So it's easy for the rest of the state to forget about them until this time of year when you have to go see them. I think that's kind of what happened with Harding is that they didn't know exactly what to expect coming in. And then they didn't have the firepower to match what Providence had.
Yeah, I agree, and that's definitely a team to forget about up in that area. But we're remembering who they are now. Exactly. West Memphis and Alma. It was a great game. West Memphis was up most of the game. Alma came back late. Farmington boys and girls played Little Rock Christian after that. It was a packed house. People got there super early to get there just to secure their seat, and they were treated with a great game. West Memphis and Alma lived up to the hype. The gym was going wild during Alma's comeback, but in the end, West Memphis pulled it out.
No, definitely. Very well said. I couldn't have put it any better myself. West Memphis actually surprised me a little bit in this one, showing those nerves of steel. And that's something that I think we've been talking about all season long as they've gotten later into the season and believed in each other and trusted each other just a little bit more, bought into the system, understood the plays on both sides of the ball, and just put all the noise behind them. They've been a really good team ever since. So congrats to the West Memphis Devils pushing on to the next round.
I think me and you mentioned this in one of our episodes the last couple weeks, and West Memphis has been really good lately. So this is a team that if I'm Parkview looking at them next round, they're not a they're not a pushover by any means. So I don't know. 69 points from a team like this, they haven't done that very often this year. If they can do that tomorrow, I guess. I think they have a decent chance to pull the upset off. Not that they will, but playing like this is definitely going to bode well for them.
I'd be really shocked. I think you really remember me talking about how good that Parkview defense is.
Yeah.
And so seeing a defense like that.
If they could do that again tomorrow, it would help them a ton. That's why.
Yeah, I doubt they'll be able to put up 70 on that defense. Like I said, I'm not the know all be all, not the end all be all of it all, but just my honest opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And Alma's not necessarily known for their defense either, to be honest. So
right.
Let's turn the page to a team that is known for the defense. Little Rock Hall in Brooklyn. I was at this one. I'll let you talk about it, and then I'll fill in the gaps.
Extremely low scoring game, as you can obviously see there. Um, it was kind of like how you said the crowd was getting a little electrified as Brooklyn tried to make a little bit of a run and a push, but ultimately Hall just outmatched him at every little spot. Every little spot, they kind of just were quicker to the ball, faster to the rebound, making the right read and the right decision, less turnovers. It held them to 30 points. You hold any team to 30 points in the 4A conference, and you have a good chance of going to win that ball game. So, very good
Yeah,
job
yeah.
defensively by Hall.
I heard someone say this at halftime, and they said something like, it just feels like Hall is getting every single loose ball, and that tends to help go in your favor. And in any game, if you have the ball longer, then you tend to win. And it was just a great coaching display for Coach Coleman. And like we've said this time and time again, when you have the experience, it goes really far. And I think Brooklyn's just a team that just doesn't quite have the postseason experience. And I think Coach Keeper kind of took a not Coach Keeper, sorry, Coach Coleman. That's my bad. Coach Coleman kind of took advantage of that. Really, I think he knew if they played up and down with them, it wouldn't result in a win for them, and so they slowed it down, and it worked.
Definitely worked well in their favor. Like you said, like I just said, a very great defensive game by Hall. Got a way to kind of figure out what they needed to do to keep Lane Webster to a minimum, and did that the best they could. So
They got him in foul trouble, and that really played a big role on the stretch. This let's turn the page to the storyline of the night. I'll be honest, I was at the Hall Brooklyn game. It was bad service for most of the game, so I didn't get to keep up. I didn't get to watch the Farmington Little Christian game. I had people texting me nonstop telling me updates, but you did, so I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Eli Schwartzman, man. Like, where do we start? I've been ringing his name for the past 2 seasons, and this is maybe a little off-putting, but I just kind of wanted to throw this out there when it comes to the ranking side of things. I've had Eli ranked pretty high, right? And I've had conversations with a couple of guys. Personally, they're like, "Man, I don't even know this kid," and this was, obviously a year and a half, a year or so ago. Man, I don't even know this kid. How is he better than so and so? How's he ranked higher than so and so? Hey, look, just pump your brakes, let things play out, watch the kid grow, go figure out who he actually is, go watch some film on him, catch him in person a couple of times, and you'll be a believer just like I am. Simple as that. Eli
Yeah,
Schwartzman has done nothing but make people a believer out of him. If he hasn't, I don't know what you're watching, or you're simply just hating on him.
I
Fine by
think
me either way.
I think it, and we can get back to the game in a second, but I got one more thing to add about Eli. But I think whenever you look at him on social media or you go to the game and maybe he's just passing it around, which granted he has some unbelievable passes, obviously with his all of his records and stats and whatnot. But you just kind of see maybe on social media maybe that's what it is. You see a short little white guy out there. He's not putting up big numbers scoring usually. But when he does, he's capable of it. He's just a team player, team guy, and I think Farmington's really glad to have him. To be honest with you, it's a point guard in that system tends to do really well, and he's doing very well. I mean, I said this. It was after the showcase. I said, Eli Schwartzman's the best point guard in the state, and then it kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. It's definitely a style thing for sure, but man, he looks really good.
I mean, when you look at the true essence of a point guard, I think we've gotten very far away from that in today's game, right? We're so used to having these combo guards or these guys at the one that can shoot the ball from deep and go score it. And we've kind of gotten away from understanding what the true floor general is. And it's the guy who makes everybody else better. It's the true point guard style and essence that Eli plays with that I think makes him really, really, really special here in the state of Arkansas. And the numbers speak for themselves. So, great game though. Farmington actually pulled this one out. It wasn't just all about Eli Schwartzman. There was guys on the other side of the ball. There were teammates obviously in this one that played big roles in this one. Who were you looking at outside of Eli from what you did see?
Well, like I said, I didn't get to see too much, but I heard people texting me, and it seemed like Ethan Kennedy might have had a good game. Again, I don't know. I didn't get to watch too much of it, but I was curious what your thoughts were on, what Coach Taylor was able to do to eliminate such a big player on the other side.
I'm glad you asked. I was going to get to that in a second. I kind of wanted to give you time to talk about things for a second as well. But I said it on.
This is your show here.
I said it on our previous episode. Is if Coach Taylor, like I know Coach Taylor to be the disciplined coach, with a great game plan. He's going to come in. And as long as the guys on the floor understand that game plan and play it out to the best of their ability, I said it yesterday that we could see an upset. I wasn't high on it, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, man, I knew it was going to happen. I called it. But I gave kind of the keys to the game, right? Pack the paint, hold JJ to a minimum. Don't let Easton Boggs get a bunch of looks at it, right? Keep him off the line as much as you can. If you let Justice Moore run around and do his thing, I mean, you kind of have to defer somewhere else, right? Somebody might be able to get off, or if Justice shots is not falling tonight, then lucky us, right? And so they kind of had a mix of all of it. Shots weren't falling early for him. Farmington did a great job when Christian started to build the momentum and started making their runs of just holding things down, keeping their composure, and most of all, like I keep saying about a Farmington Johnny Taylor-led team, discipline. They played with extreme discipline at all times in this game. And so that ultimately led to them knocking off the number one player in the state, as we all know, in J.J. Andrews and the Little Rock Christian Academy Warriors. Sad to see J.J.'s final game. Not just that he lost, or just it was, it's just I wish I could have 10 more years of J.J. here in high school basketball, right?
Right.
But great showing by the Farmington Cardinals. Like you said, Ethan Kennedy did have a really good game. Eli had a great game. Press made some big plays when it counted. Yeah, Carson Simpson out there making big plays when it counted as well. And even Jackson Marshall.
I got a question for you. And like you said, the best player in the state, naturally, whenever you're looking at a bracket, right, and you see, oh, so-and-so has a 5-star, you kind of circle them, or maybe, I wish we didn't have to play them, like something like that. Do you think the other teams in the 5A that are left saw this outcome and they're kind of like looking like, oh, we don't have to play Little Rock Christian anymore? Do you think they're excited that this it went the way it did?
Yes. Yes. You can ask every kid in the 5A. Some of them have, a great sense of their own pride, right? No, I want to play JJ. I want to go knock JJ off myself, right? But 99% of them would be like, bro, I would so much rather play Farmington than Christian. Simple, right? You just don't have to worry about the headache of JJ Andrews and what he can do, what he's capable of, right? That's simple. It's a very simple answer to me.
Yeah. I was just curious your opinion, even though they've all, I was just curious. Let's move the page off of that game and let's go to Bergman and Riverview. This was a surprise to me. I didn't know what to expect in terms of who was going to win this game, but Riverview had some talent, and it just maybe not didn't show up tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Riverview played pretty well in spurts. In the beginning of the game, there were a couple of big runs. Like Bergman kind of got out early. They were up quite a bit. I want to say like 8 or 9 points maybe. Riverview kind of battled back, tied it up or whatever, and then run on a little another little run of their own to kind of take a little lead. And then from there, Jordan Nicholson that I was talking about the other night that ended up hitting the big three, it seemed like he took a little fall or got hurt, rolled his ankle maybe. And kind of the game just started dwindling down from there. Like the offense, obviously, he's a big part of their offense. And so that was a big piece that was missing for them. And Bergman ultimately played through Hayden Jones, like I mentioned, that it was going to be a problem for having that big 6'11", almost 7-footer down there. And they played through him well. He got in a little bit of foul trouble at times, but Coach Martin for the Bergman Panthers did a great job of managing those minutes and subbing in the rotations and getting perfect guys on the floor for perfect spots and fits when guys were coming out and rotating. So that, like I say, it really could have went the other way. If I saw the score on the other end, I wouldn't have been shocked either way. And I think that's kind of how I felt going into this one. Big win for Bergman, though. I know it did a lot for their confidence. And moving forward, we'll see what they got.
This next one was a big surprise, and I think it was a surprise for a lot of people. I think CRA is a team that maybe you don't really know much about them, and Nevada's a team that you always see, so you just kind of expect to see the team that you always see go far. And it kind of went to show. A lot of people I saw on social media had picks on who was going to win, and it seemed like Nevada was a pretty popular team that was supposed to be in the finals, and obviously they're not going to be in the finals this year. Yeah.
No, they were 100% a favorite to go all the way, and not only go all the way, but win it out. So this was definitely a surprise to a lot of people. Kind of the same thing I said earlier. We breed ballers in this area. I love to brag on Northeast Arkansas at times because we don't get the same proper attention in the media space as other areas of the state. And so any chance I get, I'm going to kind of big up guys from this way that I can. Doss Clayton was incredible again tonight for CRA. He's been their leader last year and this year pretty much, and he's still showing that he can get things done in the 1A conference. Um, I want to say, hold on, let me look really quickly at that bracket. I'm pretty sure. Uh, they play okay, yeah. So they play the winner of Clarendon County Line. They play the winner of Clarendon County Line, and then so this is all I was going to kind of get to and say is that if it ends up happening to end up meeting out, and I'm looking a little bit too far ahead to even talk about it, but you'll have CRA and Earl, who's in the same conference, who have seen each other a couple of times this year.
Mm.
And if I know anything about that game, if it's a state championship game, that will be great energy in the building. All NEA teams from both sides, so that's something that obviously with my bit of bias for my region, I would love to see in the 1A conference.
It seems like the NEA had a very good day today, and we'll get to that a little bit more as we go on throughout the show and into the girls' side of things. Let's move away from your area and let's talk about North Little Rock and Bentonville West. I was with Hall and in Brooklyn, so I didn't get to see much of this game, but my phone was blowing up about it. What are your thoughts here?
No, North Little Rock, great game. Eli played great. Elijah, that is. I'm sorry, some people might not call him Eli. Elijah played great. If we know anything about him, his confidence is through the roof, especially when he's playing like he is right now. Kevon Smith also had a great game for the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats. I didn't think Bentonville West would look that stiff almost. I don't know if it was the late game vibes. I don't know kind of what was there, but they didn't look like the same usual energy that I see from that Bentonville West team. And I think North Little Rock just came in, smashed them, and kept their foot on the gas.
This was a game that a lot of people had circled in the 2A. England and Hampton, I think it was a statement win for England. Despite all of the things that they've gone through this year, to have this win on this stage against a team that a lot of people thought was going to go pretty far, this was big, and I'm excited to see how far England can go the rest of the way.
Very evenly matched game. Another one of those games, I think, like I just said about Bergman and Riverview, there's always a few every year where those seeding matchups are so close, and you think like, man, if I would have saw this score flipped around, it wouldn't have surprised me either. And so I'm gonna say that one more time here with England and Hampton is that Hampton gave it a lot of tough, or they made it tougher than it looked like it was, like a 10-point win. Like it felt like it was only a 2-point win right down the end of the game. And so credit to England for just sticking together, like you said, battling through all the adversity, not only just in this game, but the whole entire season to get to where they are now.
Yeah, that's all we have for the boys side of things. Let's turn the page to the girls, and we'll see what we thought here. Lafayette County and Wonderview. Here, I guess I didn't realize they were playing boys and girls back to back. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, Lafayette County girls got the win. The boys, obviously, we see took the fall. Looks like it was a very tough game. I did not get to catch this one fully.
I did not either. I don't want to pretend that we did. We have Dirks and Buffalo Island Central.
I was surprised BIC only putting up 36 points, so that speaks a lot to Dirk's defense. BIC, another Northeast Arkansas team, those girls are perennially good. And so to see them kind of come in and get smacked around by 30 lets me know that Dirks, I always say that very country-like, that Dirks means business. And so don't want to see them putting up 60 points. Like I said, any team putting up 60 consistently, especially through the playoffs, they're going to be a tough outing.
Yeah, this team didn't quite score 60, but I think they're still a tough outing for teams. Episcopal knocked off Mansfield.
Yeah, very well coached team. They're going to kind of always play together. Good win by 10. I think that 43 points, obviously, like you say, when you start looking at scores and points averages, I think that 43 points is a little lower than what they normally can go get. And so that speaks a little bit to Mansfield that, they didn't just let this one go. But very good game for the Episcopal Wildcats.
We got Southside and Pottsville. I caught the end of this one, but it was kind of out of hand by the time I got there and got into the gym. I was driving during this early window, so I don't have too much to add about this. What were your thoughts here?
I didn't see too much of it. I caught basically like literally the final score. Once I clicked on, I could have went back and watched, and I failed to. But it looks like sadly both the Apache girls and boys took an L today. So wrapping their seasons up together.
Yep, back to back games as well. Nettleton and Van Buren. I don't know. I think there's just a battle of Northeast versus the other side of the state, and then your girls got it done.
Yeah, no, Nettleton girls, if you know anything about them, what they really will do is they'll run and gun and play physical. And they're very much so just fared well for them in this game. You have one of those contrasting styles, and obviously the more hectic and chaotic style pulled this one out with Nettleton girls advancing to the next round. The Lady Raiders will be tough anytime you have to see them. So congrats to them moving on.
It's interesting to see how the different styles fare at the different levels of in the playoffs. You know, you have the smaller schools that the more hectic seems to work. I don't know. Maybe it's more of a matchup dependent thing, but it's fun to see this time of the year for sure.
100%, I agree. I think, like I say, it's always fun when you see coaching chess matches too. Like you see really good coaches, you see the adjustments being made on one side, and you see the readjustment to the adjustment. So it's always good to see those type of things as well. Very exciting.
This was another coaching battle. We'll stay on that same topic and look at Conway and Harbor. I think Harbor was just the better team this year. Honestly, Conway's a team that you expect to see late into the season, and I think this is the first time in quite a while that Conway hasn't been in the semifinals. So it was tough for Conway fans to see this go the way it did, but Harbor's really good this year.
Yeah, it kind of just seemed like nothing went Conway's way today. And ultimately, Harbor just stayed strong, pulled the victory out, honestly. Wasn't too
Kind of
much in the mix of things. Like I said, just stuck to the game plan, play hard, finish the game out.
kind of felt like that all season long for the Wampus Cats. Bradley and Bradford. Well, that's quite the name battle right there.
Brad versus Brad. Yeah, I completely missed this one. Excuse me,
Yeah.
please. Excuse me, fans. I completely missed this when I was training with some kids earlier. So
Washita and Riverside. Riverside girls are really good this year. Um, yeah, I mean they're a team that you just kind of expect to get it done, and then they definitely did tonight.
another one of those Northeast Arkansas teams picking up a win. Arden Vaughn, great player. Somebody I just had a conversation with about was asking me at the gym earlier today, actually. Um, did I get a chance to see them this season? And I have. And so great way to see them almost go get that 20-point win. Looking forward to seeing them in the next round.
Harding Academy and Charleston. Charleston's a team that they're always good. I think their accomplishment this season was just to make the state tournament. To be honest with you, I have some friends in that area of the state that are Charleston fans, and that's kind of what they were telling me. I don't think they had too much hopes going into this one, and it was pretty evident here.
Yeah, I was looking to see see if I can find it in two taps. Maybe, maybe not. Yes, 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 yes. Give me 2 more seconds. Pulling it up now. Yes, Clare City. I just didn't want to get her name wrong. I knew I was right, but I just didn't want to get it wrong. Clare City for Harding Academy. Amazing 2026 guard over there. And I think if anything that I saw last year lets me know about what's going on this year, she's clearly a standout, right? But I think that kind of does her a little bit of injustice to say just a standout. I think she's more like a standalone. She is a dominant. Well, I wouldn't necessarily even say dominant, more just like a premier elite player, right? There's so many different little facets to her game, the little craftiness she has, but that's definitely a player I'd watch out for in that conference for the rest of this season. Finishing up really strong.
Forest City and Berryville. I was able to catch a lot of this game. Berryville was just honestly outmatched. It seemed. Forest City girls are really good. They have a chance to go pretty far into the state tournament. Tomorrow they have a big one against Pulaski Academy, and I'm looking forward to it in the 4A.
Yeah, you kind of hinted at that. We kind of figured that Forest City would walk this one. Good win for them. Athletic group, great coach. Coach Williams does a great job over there, and so looking forward to seeing that matchup that you're speaking on with PA as well.
Yeah, Cassidy Smith for Forest City. There is really good. She's fun. That rematch will be one to look forward to tomorrow. PA was able to beat them the first time this season. Valley View and Mountain Home. Mountain Home is just really they're a dominant team. They're always good. It's always nice to see the Bombers back in state tournament.
Yeah, this is another. These are two teams that are more familiar with each other than others, right? kind of like we talked about with Tech and Mount Home being in the same conference. And so they kind of just went in there, stuck to the P's and Q's, knowing what they were going to see, kind of probably going off the same film. Obviously being familiar with the opponent, it always helps. So they were easy to get this win.
Southside and Poen. I was able to catch the end of this one. This was quite the upset, I think. Southside's really good, but Poen was a team that we thought was going to go a long ways, and they didn't go very far, I guess, or as far as we expected.
Right. No, Southside, I think, like I say, came in with the right mindset of, hey, we don't care if it's on your home court. We don't care if Kennedy Barrett's a bucket. We know, we respect it, but it's just like, hey, we got a plan. We got a goal in mind too, so let's just stick to it. Once you have that type of mindset and you have a group of girls playing together like that, these are the type of wins and upsets you get.
Heber Springs and Pea Ridge was one of the best games I've seen in a very long time. We actually had two pretty much buzzer beaters. Heber Springs hit a three with I think like 2 seconds left in the game to send it to overtime. I think a lot of people turned the game off. They thought Pea Ridge had won. Heber Springs fought back and they hit a three at the horn essentially. And then Heber Springs I think thought they had it won in overtime. I think there was 4 seconds left in the game. They inbounded the ball. I think they were up. I guess they were up like 3 or 4 or whatever. Heading down the floor. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but it was one of those situations where they were up one. All they had to do was inbound it, let them foul them. The girl threw it back under the basket. It's one of the big no-nos of things not to do when you're trapped at that situation. She threw it under the basket. Pea Ridge got the steal, laid it up at the horn. They dogpiled out there. It was a great ending to a girls' high school basketball game.
Nick, what level of basketball did you play?
None.
So for the I just want to point out something. Like, this dude's a ball knower, people. If you guys probably play like 7th grade basketball, you know what he just said is the key. I coach basketball, something I extremely coach all the time. When you're being trapped in a situation like that, you don't throw it back towards your own basket.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could. I, as a coach, I probably wouldn't tell my girls this or my players or this, but I mean, at that situation, you can just take it and throw it to the other end of the court.
Chunk it. Put it to the sky. Throw it off the shot clock. I don't care. Don't throw it back towards
your goal. Throw it into the crowd. It doesn't matter. I mean, that alone was – I mean, you have to give yourself a chance, and that really, really haunt. I mean, that's going to stick with the girls at Heber Springs for a very, very long time, and I hate to pour salt in the wounds for them on this, but, I mean, at this point, you kind of just have to know better. I mean, truly. I hate to say that.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
Little Rock Christian and Farmington, that was a game that a lot of people had circled. I think it went about the way we kind of expected and told everyone that it probably would go. I mean, Easton McCullough is just really good. Her supporting cast is really good. And Whitley Rogers just doesn't have the squad around her that Farmington does. And it was just it's Farmington's year this year.
Definitely. It was not the best outing by Whitley herself. Obviously, she's kind of talented enough and capable enough to keep her team close and pull them through games. But that type of performance that she had today didn't help them, obviously, in this situation. And then, like you just spoke on, the supporting cast on each side were kind of just going in different directions with that way that they were able to impact this game. And Farmington came out strong and pulled this one out.
It seemed like that was one of the most anticipated girl matchups that I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, definitely in recent years, completely overall. Small ball, I think we kind of get some anticipated matchups because, I don't know, maybe there's just a lot more evenly matched smaller school teams, right? Yeah. But for this type of impactful game and what it could mean, like, for the rest of the playoffs, I think this was the game out of any classification.
Yeah, the talent, when you have Gatorade Player of the Year and then the probable Gatorade Player of the Year on the other side for the following year, those kind of matchups don't come around very often, and it was fun to see it happen. Okay, we're going to head back to your area of the state, Vic, Manila and Dover. This was an upset for some, but I think those in Manila would disagree and say that they're the better team.
Yeah, no, this was a very, very close game. This 10-point score does not do this game justice. Manila actually shot a couple free throws at the end of the game. I think they actually hit 6 free throws at the end of the game. This game was very, very tight in contention all the way up until the end. Manila was just, kind kind of like what you say, like your Cinderella story, right? Like that little spark, just their little fairy just comes across the court, and now you just take off, and that's exactly what happened for them at the end of the game. Everything just kind of went their way in that last minute of the game to take off and get that win. So hopefully they can keep riding this hot streak, stick together, ride this high, and into the next round.
Norfolk and Sacred Heart.
It
I
was
didn't
never
catch.
really a game. This was, I think, my first game of the day, or maybe my last game of the day. I can't even remember what I just watched first and last. It was never really a game, though, no matter what time I watched it. Norfolk came out, control, led through the whole game, 20-point win.
Yeah, they're always a dominant girls program.
Like I
And
said, we've literally seen this every single game, boys and girls side. And I think if you watch enough basketball overall in high school, if you're not scoring 30 points or if you're scoring in the 30s, you're probably not going to win. It's not going to be a lot of 30 points. There's not going to be a 39 to 36 win very often. If you score
yeah,
in the 30s, you're probably going to lose.
and that's the perfect storyline for the next one. Little Rock Central and Bentonville West. Central scored in the 30s, and it hits your point home even further.
Central will be pretty good next year. I think that group of girls will have a chance to come back and kind of, put their heads together as one. Bentonville West, we know them to be a really strong team. So I wouldn't just sleep on them for the rest of this tournament. You know what I'm saying? Just speaking, just saying, Bentonville West girls.
Who does Bentonville West play next round? Is that North Little Rock?
Yeah, I believe so. I think you're right.
Yeah, so we'll have a fun one. North Little Rock boys and girls will both be playing in the state semifinals.
Oh no, lie. They play Harvard, so they got their 1 seed up top.
Right, that's right. North Little Rock's on the bottom. They haven't played yet. They play tomorrow. Yeah, it was a great day of high school basketball. I look forward to talking with you about this again tomorrow and running everything down again. Hope to see you at the gym, Vic.
Most definitely. Great recap, brother. I'll catch you here soon. Appreciate everybody for tuning in once again. Like I said, we can't do what we do without you guys. Your feedback is greatly needed and supported. So please, please, please keep doing a great job of giving us fuel to the fire, giving us things to add in and things to talk about on here to give you guys the correct shine and correct light in the right places. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone sending in things. That definitely helps us and the show for sure. So I appreciate you all. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you the next one.